great win by our guys. Look, I've known Oklahoma and their staff for a while. I told them before the game, I felt sorry for those guys. I'd watched them play all year long. They've been in every game, and sometimes, just sometimes you'll be there and it's not your night. I've seen Oklahoma in these games just not be their night late in those games, man. They could easily have a flip record here in a lot of these games. So we know they're a good team and they're really good at home. They're playing good basketball. They obviously won at Vanderbilt, and they've been tough in this gym for sure. End of the day, that was just an old school win by our guys on the defensive end. We didn't get too tricky. Didn't have to get too creative in the full court. We just had to go back in the half court and try to lean on them and guard. And the difference with the game is that we held them to 25% shooting in the second half and 32% shooting for the game. If you lose on the road doing that, you just lose. But we couldn't do much better on the defensive end. I thought we played decent defense the first half, but Oklahoma did a fantastic job of giving effort and getting offensive rebounds to keep them in the basketball game. Not the prettiest game if you love offense, but if you like road wins, man, for all the Aggies out there, that's how it's got to be done, man. You just got to scrap and grind on the defensive end. So we're glad to get it. We know it's a hard place to play, and I'm sure we'll probably could run into those guys in Nashville.
Questions for Coach?
Ryland, looked like Ryland really wanted the ball a lot in the second half. You dropped that play for him on that eventual game-winning two that he had, or was it another look?
Yeah, that was the play. We're trying to get him the ball there on the wide pin and play with him and Rashawn. They were letting it physical, very physical at the rim the second half. They were late, which I'm good with because they let it be physical both ways. And, so we know we were going to have to earn one. We couldn't just get bailed out with a foul. And, he did that. Ryland was dialed in today. He was dialed in before he walked out on the floor. I could tell, man, he's been in these moments. We know what these games mean, and he was ready to roll.
And Rashawn as well, just another night where he carried you offensively in the first half as well. You said you would have games where you would make threes and surprise people, and the 2 threes he hit in the first half were huge. You feel like you've seen that from him in practice where he's starting to get his 3-ball back?
Yeah, Rashawn can shoot it, some of these guys have shot it really extremely well. There's the digression to the norm. Rashawn will probably continue to make shots because he's a better shooter than he shot it all season long. So he can do that, man, and we're going to trust him doing that.
And then obviously you had to have the win for looking ahead to March. I know that's not what you're telling your team, but back-to-back games where you just had to have the win, you pulled it out late in the final 5 minutes. What does that say about your group? That it's not a pretty win, but they don't ask how, they just ask how.
It's great to win different ways. Like some games we got to get up there and turn teams over. That game was just an old-fashioned, solid half-court defensive game. Come down, and it was not the fastest game. It was a player's game, and what I mean by that is it was a lot of matchups in that game. Just matchups. Can you win your matchup? You mentioned, you don't want to talk about the significance of these wins, but we told our guys before the Ole Miss game, the NCAA tournament starts right now. If you're going to go win the NCAA tournament, anybody's got to win 6 games in a row. Like that's the mindset you got to have with that level of focus. You can't be a team if you want to play in the NCAA tournament. You can't be a team that gets to the NCAA tournament and then all of a sudden, like their senses are keener and they're ready to go, right? You got to have that to get to the NCAA tournament. And we had that versus Ole Miss, and I think we had it tonight, even though it wasn't the prettiest. We had it tonight. We got to have that in the next game at Arkansas.
And then my final question is the first 5 minutes of the second half hasn't been your strong suit. Y'all were like minus 29 in the last 6 games. What was different? Do you say anything different at halftime today to where you had that strong start?
I was on them pretty hard. I was on them pretty hard at halftime. Wasn't pleased the fact that we held them to a decent percentage from the field in the first half, but we gave them so many offensive rebounds to keep them around in that game. We went zone, and I think they missed like 8 shots in a row in the zone, and somehow we lost ground because they kept offensive rebounding it. So obviously we just challenged them, man. We can't win on the road if we want to give people those kind of opportunities back at the rim. Our goal, we want to have more field goal attempts than the opponent. Sometimes free throw can play a part in that. It was right there, 62 to 61. They shot 4 more free throws.
Coach, is it any more difficult when you get a team that's retiring their former players' number like Bucky tonight? Did that add anything to it, do you think? Or?
It's more difficult for the coach when I look out there and they're all in the Buddy Hill uniform. I got to play against 15 Buddy Hills tonight. It's like, man, we're in trouble here. But it had a good vibe in there, and I tell you, the crowd, SEC's SEC, the crowd, you could feel them in that game. With every 3-point shot lake, you could feel them rise, and they had an impact on the game. So, and congratulations to him, Andy. I know he's done a lot of great things here.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you guys.